the next morning, I remember that I had forgotten about the entire incident. That same blanket which was swaying in the air last night lay there so innocent. And I wasn't bothered about it. I wasn't bothered. Because they say that I was a possessed child. I used to mutter in my sleep. I used to bolt up from my bed and get up in the middle of the night. So it naturally it slipped out of my mind. And I forgot. But the same thing, it happened again the next night. And this time it was a little different because I could hear, I heard Rabu cry. She was sobbing. It was like a cat licks for something from the plate, like something like that. They were settling an argument under that blanket, I think, silently. I was so frightened. And I again slept it off. I slept. So this one time, Rabu went off to see her son. And that day I saw Begum Jahan. She was so upset and she grew irritable. I don't know, I kept thinking, what's wrong with Begum Jahan? She had like 20 odd cups of tea. She didn't let anyone touch her. She didn't eat the entire day. Nothing. So I used to be around Begum Jahan the entire day. So I just went up to her and I said, "Can I scratch your back?" She gave me this look and I took it for a yes. And I sat scratching her back. I did it for quite some time. And she didn't say a word. The entire time she didn't say a word. She just lay and she was munching dry fruits. So I scratched her for a while and then she was wearing this kurta, okay, and it had buttons in the front. She asked me to undo the buttons and I did it. And then I put my hand inside and I kept scratching her. I was feeling important. I felt proud, wow, like, oh, I am the next important thing to Rabu and Begum Jahan's life. No one touches her, but I am. And I was proud of it. No, she would have reached those spots by herself, but I kept doing it. Wherever she wanted, whatever she wanted. And after some time, she made me lie down next to her. When she started counting my ribs, she was counting my ribs. And suddenly, she held me and she pressed me against her. She pressed me and I wanted to escape that very moment. I wanted to escape from there. I wanted to run. Probably scream, cry, but I could not because she was Begum Jahan. She is like Ammi. I remember the warmth of her body. It was so distracting. She was the one who was possessed. She was laughing. But thank God, Rabu was back the next day. It was the biggest relief for me. I just wanted Ammi to come back. You know, is fighting with your own brother and his friends such a big offense that you would cause me all this? I just wanted Ammi to come back. I wanted to run out in the street. But I couldn't do anything. The next night, I tiptoed into the bedroom because I was so nervous from the last night's incident. I just tiptoed. I put the blanket over me and I wanted to sleep. But sleep wouldn't come that night. I lay helpless. And then once again, that Lihaf was in the air. That elephant was leaping inside once again. It was like someone's trying to relish something. And I wanted to know, what are you eating? What is so tasty? What is that? I wanted to know. That Lihaf was swelling inside my skull. And by now I was trembling from head to foot. I was trembling and it was sending shivers down my spine. I tried making some disturbing noises so that someone would take notice of it, but no. So that night, I gathered some courage that night. And the switch, it was right next to my bed. It was right next to my bed, and I held on to it for quite some time. And then I just pulled it on. I switched on the light. A second of darkness and then light. That same Lihaf, which I had seen all this while, it took a giant somersault. It leapt. And then it just collapsed. It lay silent. But that somersault, it had lifted the Lihaf just by 1 foot. And I saw everything. I saw it all. Like any other night, I dived into